So we did. Let's just try. What are the first five? We did scary.
Do you want to intro the show?
Oh yeah, intro. Ha ha.
Hello and welcome to the ParkStop podcast. My name is Alicia Stella. With me, as always, my co-host Ian.
Hey kids, I think I'm dying.
We are in pain. We had a very long night at the Halloween Horror Nights 30.
Yay! I was drunk
Universal
a lot.
Orlando. I did not drink, so I like when I'm not drinking, I just assume everyone else is also just as like sober as I am.
I think May and I made up for whatever you and Jen didn't drink, so we're good.
We had lots of soda.
I had lots of Patron. So did May. Houses.
I forgot.
Houses.
Yeah, you did a shot. Yeah, so we're trying to figure out the order. We did the RIP tour. This was
Ma'am.
Jen and mine. Our
Ma'am.
second RIP tour. What?
I did 3 shots. And then 2 mixed drinks. Oh yeah, we did 3 shots each.
I don't know how you were even
May and
standing. I
don't
had
know,
one
but I
sip of
noticed
one of your mixed drinks, and I felt like I got drunk instantly. That's how much of a
Ghoul juice
lightweight
was
I
good.
am.
Yeah,
The Ghoul juice was really good. It tasted like fruit punch.
Yeah, it was better than the tea. The tea.
That tasted nasty, and I was instantly tipsy on a teeny tiny sip.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as the Ghoul juice. Get the Ghoul juice, kids.
We did the non-private RIP. Jen and I had done that last time in 2019, and now that's the only way we want to do this. And we save up for a whole year. It was easy with 2 years to save up.
Yeah.
And then, but this is not only your first RIP tour. This is yours and Megan's first time at Halloween Horror Nights.
Yep, definitely. And we got a really cool guide. You guys asked for Duncan. He was super fun.
Duncan from Michigan, right?
Duncan from Michigan. Duncan was great. Is that a beer?
No, it is a Mountain Dew zero sugar major melon.
You're going to make me feel bad for not drinking right now.
Oh, it doesn't expire till October. Okay, I still got a couple more weeks. I bought it over the summer. So I wanted to ask you what you just thought of the general vibe of Halloween Horror Nights in general.
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, we had some times where we were walking through the crowds and it was pretty packed in there.
Mm-hmm.
I thought the houses were pretty cool. I expected them to be a little more off-putting with all the talk of the plastic and everything being in there, the plexiglass or whatever people were talking about.
Vinyl. You thought it didn't bother you that much?
It didn't bother me that much. It gave away some of the scares, but not all of the scares are behind that, and they still reach for you. In fact, I was dodging arms that reached for May a couple times because I almost ran into them.
Was that Wicked Growth? There's like people with sickles just coming right at you with a whoosh, whoosh.
Yeah, there are people still coming at you. Even some of them come around the vinyl. So it was pretty cool. I mean, it was my first year, so I don't have anything to complain or compare it to. I had a blast. I had a lot of fun. I think the 4 of us had a lot of fun, and Duncan made it even better, in my opinion. And our group wasn't bad at all. So,
yeah, we had a good group. We had an amazing guide. We got all the houses done. We did both shows. We had lots of pit stops. We saw some interesting bars. It was great all around.
We had that woman in our group that screamed at everything the entire time, and she had a habit of the one time she was in front of me, she had a habit of like doubling over in half and scooting backwards, so she was like butt moshing into me like every time she got scared.
For the second half of the night, she was always right. She was always right behind me for like the second half of the night, and it took like 3 houses for me to realize that I keep hearing the same scream in every house. Like I thought I was the caboose for the whole group, but I realized no, wait, I was in the middle, and there was a group behind me that's part of our group, and she was screaming the same scream because everything scared her.
Yep, and she would drift backwards too after a while because she would get scared and just start drifting backwards. From scooting backwards. So she was great. She was funny. She got out of the house after she did that. She was like, "Oh, I'm so embarrassed." She was fun.
Since we only went the one night, and we did do 3 of the houses again after our tour ended, because the lines were short enough that we get to do our favorites again, which is always fun because like you notice different things. There's stuff you might miss your first run. So like most people might want to give a review after going multiple nights, seeing how it changes throughout the weeks. This is like the 3rd week of the event. So we're just going to give our review of our experiences in the houses for that one night because with the way my legs feel, I don't think I could do another night.
No, definitely not back to back.
We tried to cram in as much as we could the one night. So I just wanted to jump in it and talk about like the houses because that was like that's why I go to these things. We
Exactly.
did we did Welcome to Scary first, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, and I like. I think that was a good house to start in as like a warm up because it's not a very good house in my opinion, but it was
I
good
was about to say,
enough.
you thought it was a good house? No, it's a good
I
house to
thought it
start
no,
with. Okay, yes,
it's a
yes, I
good
agree.
house to start with. It was like a warm up. It was like instead of because if we did that in the middle or toward the end, that would have been like wah wah in my opinion. So if you guys are gonna do anything, start with scary in my opinion. Nice
Well, if
warm
you're
up
going to be able to
house,
do all the houses, if you're going and you can only do, 6 to 8 houses because the lines are long, this was the
then
busiest night
skip
of the
what.
event. So I think Duncan said that this is the busiest night of the event so far because we went on a
Wow,
Saturday. And like we're getting closer to actual spooky season. So it's getting busier. I thought all the houses were good, none were bad. Like there are years looking back that I would walk out of a house and go, I can't believe I just waited in line for that. Like
that's not good.
this house may have been somewhat weaker, at least to my taste, than the other houses, but it still was not bad. I loved the
No,
first third with the hive stuff. I thought that was really good.
yeah, that was cool. That was cool. I like that too. Like I said, I thought it was a good warm up house. May was a little worried she was going to be able or not be able to do all of them. She thought they were going to be a little too scary for her. But she made it through that house, and I was like, "You good?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm good. We can do this now." Oh, it worked really well for her, especially because, like I said, good warm up house. It kind of showed her what to expect the rest of the night in a sort of loose way and how Universal does their thing, so to speak. So I think for our group,
Yeah, it was
especially just
perfect
in general, it was
because
a
we tricked
great.
her. We tricked her into thinking that the houses weren't going to be that scary by doing the least scary house first.
Yeah, and then by the end of we started the night where she would not go first, and by the end of the night, she's like, "I don't care." She definitely got a little liquid courage along the way, though, but still, she was doing good. So
I was kind of excited to see the like meaty meats in the middle of that house, and I
yeah,
don't know, maybe because it was a shorter section of the house, or maybe because I missed all the scares. I was kind of disappointed. Uh, um,
yeah,
and I think that disappointment and just like the hype of like ooh meaty meats, and then like oh there's not much here, and then I was kind of sad. But the hive part was really fun, and
yeah. The hype part
um,
was good.
Cindy was in there. I'm not I'm not involved in the lore of everything, but I know of the Cindy character. So as soon as I turned
Yeah,
around and saw her, I was like, "Oh, I recognize that girl." And then he said at the end, like, "Did anyone catch Cindy hiding in that house?" And I think this is like when I started to realize that this year, because it's 30th anniversary, a lot of the houses have allusions to other things in them. So especially this one, because it's already like a best of kind of with multiple
yeah, for
stories.
sure.
But I noticed in a lot of the houses there was little nods and things hidden, like Easter eggs from all different things. So I thought it's a really strong year overall, especially with all the original houses and then the ties to other original houses in all the original houses. So even though it wasn't my favorite house, it still had some cool stuff in it.
It did. It was. I think it's a warm up house, guys. That's what I'm going to classify it as. So that's what I'm going to call it. I think it's got good points, but it's definitely the weakest house in my opinion of the 10. So what do we do after that?
Was it Haunting of Hill House? I
Oh,
think
it
we took a long
was
walk all the way over to Haunting of Hill House. Yeah, which was your
yeah,
most anticipated house, I assume,
for
because you're
sure,
a fan
for
of the
sure.
show. I have never seen the
Yeah,
show,
for
so I
sure.
was curious to see how the house holds up on its own. I think it's a really good haunted house, so to speak.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was freaking
it
long
feels so
too. I
long. It's so long.
It also had the only thing that made me any kind of scared, like nervous at all, and that was the dark hallway with the voices swirling all around you and stuff in a pitch black hallway. That was the only thing that made me nervous because I couldn't tell where something was going to come out at all. I had a guess, but I turned out to be right. But I expected something in the middle too.
It reminded me of Graveyard Games had something similar at the end of the
That's right.
house in the last year. I think they added like an exit sign or a light or something in it, Graveyard Games, after a first few weeks. So I was glad that I got to do it when I did. But yeah, anything that's pitch black darkness is actually scary. I missed Broken
Yeah.
Neck Girl. broken neck woman in the first run that we did through that house, but we
Broke
did it
neck
again
lady.
later. Yeah, broke neck lady. Sorry. Yeah. The one on the poster. I'm looking this whole
Yep.
time in the, oh my God, the tall guy was really tall. Is it Tall Man? Is that what
He
he's
was
named?
awesome. Yeah, the tall man.
He
He was
was really
awesome.
tall.
I did not expect him to look that good, but he looked dead on. He was awesome. I was very happy. I even like gave him a thumbs up the second time he went through at the end. I was like, yeah, man.
It's like the set
Yeah.
design and the special effects and the sound design and the characters. It's Halloween Horror Nights is not, it's not like other haunts. It is professional movie set quality, and I think that's what I love most about it is just it's like it's all eye candy, and I'm like, I can't believe how good this looks.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the facade of the house when you first walk in, I really like that with the lightning going off and everything. That was really good.
It's definitely worth waiting for that second time. And it's unusual for me to go through a house based on an IP I have not seen anything of and be like, yeah, let's do that one again. Like that has never happened before.
Let me ask you, did
So,
it make you want to watch the show in any way?
no.
Okay. I was just curious.
I sort of want to, but I know that I never will. It's one of those things where like, I know it's really good. Like people tell you got to watch Breaking Bad, like for like 10 years straight, you got to watch Breaking Bad. And it's like, I feel like I've absorbed enough of it. I don't need to watch it. I feel like I got it. I get it. I've seen memes. I get it.
Yeah. All right. So Hill House was second. What did we do third? Was that
Beetlejuice?
Yeah, I was going to say, was that Beetlejuice? That
Because
was
it was
fun.
right next door.
That was just fun.
Yes.
That was just fun.
Yeah. And Duncan warned us this was like the fun house. Don't expect it to be scary. From like, and this is what the problem is with having like friends and people that are really into the haunt stuff and really into the scary stuff, is that when everyone's telling you Beetlejuice is like the worst house of the year, and you're like, but it's Beetlejuice. I love Beetlejuice. It's like one of my favorite movies of all time. So I'm like,
it's
really
hilarious.
disappointed. I'm like worried because I didn't do it when it was open for 2 days last year. So I'm sitting here concerned that like I'm going to be really disappointed by this house. And I walk through it. I'm like, this is my favorite house. This is so great.
It's so
because
fun.
Because I love the movie.
I was
is like a fun house too.
On the way out. It is. And I was dancing.
It starts with the spinning tunnel.
It was great. Yeah, that was a good one.
He's like a carnival barker at the beginning. He's making fun of people. We did it twice. We went back around and did this one again because it was also next to Hill House, and he was. You could tell he was tired.
Yeah,
like it's end of the night, people. And but he was still making fun of people.
He was definitely heckling people. But yeah, the entryway in the spinning room was really good. I thought the wedding scene could have been done a little bit better.
This is going to be the wedding scene was just a hallway. It could have been a bigger room, and that's the problem with the Ghostbusters house too. Is that like it has some really big moments in the beginning, and then it gets skinnier and skinnier as it goes. And this did the exact same thing, where like it recreates some really good moments, and then by the end, you have no room for the actual conclusion. Although we had a sandworm at the end, so that was good.
That was awesome.
I'm going through this house the first time, and I am quoting things as they're happening. And like, if I had a wish list, I thought never in a million years was the flat guy from the other side going to be there. Like, I did never in a million years would I guess the flat guy who would be like, there are no mirrors on this side. Feel a little flat. Like I would never expect that to be. It starts right off. You were like,
so excited.
The Juno, the caseworker, comes out, and there's like a puff of smoke. No, I was.
You
of
were
course
so
I was
excited by them.
I knew them.
You were so excited by the flat guy that you yelled it at me. You yelled the quote, and we got around the corner. I'm like, he didn't say it yet, and then he said it. I was like, there we go. You were so amped for that. It was great.
We did the second run, and I didn't see the social worker receptionist. The first time she was there, and she like the window opens, and she's like, if I know then what I know now, I wouldn't have had my little accident. And I'm like, oh my God, like they just recreated this moment perfectly. There's the waiting room, of course, the guy with the shark on his leg. But
yeah, the waiting room was
there's
great.
A little bit of scares in the like the room of lost souls is a good opportunity for some scares. Like the janitor's just there, and he's like, room of lost souls, the dead for the dead. And I'm like, oh, and then you walk through the hall and doors open and scary monster comes. And I'm like, oh yeah, it's a good opportunity for scares.
Totally. That was good.
Gigantic Beetlejuice
so
snake. We're here for your daughter, Chuck. Like, he's just huge. And this was a year of like 4 giant heads. I am all for giant heads, but usually just one house has a giant head. We had at least 4, right? We'd have a giant pumpkin head, a giant snake Beetlejuice head,
Beetlejuice.
A giant devil head for some reason on case files.
Yep. And then there was one more, wasn't there?
I feel like there was one more.
I feel like there was one more too. I just can't remember. I'm remembering the pumpkin the most.
Yeah, the pumpkin was the coolest one. The pumpkin it had like pumpkin strings in its mouth. It was so good.
It was real good. That room is good too. We'll get there.
Yeah. But like, yeah.
It's fun. It's fun. I danced at the end. I was dancing with Beetlejuice. He sort of did the Beetlejuice sort of version of catcalling May at one point too at the wedding too. It was pretty funny. He was like, "Hey," pointed his fingers at her. But yeah, it's great.
And they're like playing voiceovers too, so no one had to talk. They have the pre-recorded. Lydia just comes out and is like, "I myself am strange and unusual." I was like, "Okay, well, you look like Lydia. That's pretty cool."
I did the hand thing back to her when she did it the second time through. I was like,
the second run we had Otho, who we did not have the first time.
Yes,
that's awesome.
There's not enough Otho in that house. That's my complaint.
There's only the one moment.
There's never enough Otho. It was so good. It's super fun. We did that one twice, right? Yeah, that's twice for that.
It made me happy. I get that you want haunted houses to be scary, but this isn't like Penn and Teller's Las Vegas, Nuked Vegas or whatever, where it's not fun or scary. This was at least fun.
It was totally fun. It was so fun.
With someone who loves the movie, if I get something like this for Gremlins, I would be very, very happy. I'm just saying.
Yeah, name me one person who doesn't leave that house that knows the movie not singing the song. We all did when we walked out.
Everyone walks out dancing. Seriously.
Yeah, it's so good. What did we do next? I was drunk at the time.
Oh my God. I was going to say, I think we went to the bar next. We went to Lombard's.
We did go to the bar. We went to Lombard's
to have a drink.
And I had another shot, and that's when I had the tea.
We had a fun time. Me and May we had our devil horns on, our light up devil horns.
You guys were adorable. Where we at?
Then we did
fourth house?
We did the show. No, we did the show next.
Oh yeah, the show.
We did the show.
The show was great. I liked it.
Halloween Nightmare Fuel.
Yeah, the name's
I did not know what I was. Huh?
Said, yeah, I don't think the name's great, but I thought it was a fun show.
It was, because fire. There was a lot of fire. I don't know what I was expecting. We had Joe on our last episode talking about how it was going to be like this magic show or whatever.
Yep.
Magus Utopia from like Britain's Got Talent. And then when it got announced as like Halloween Nightmare Fuel, I'm like, oh, I guess he was wrong. And it's definitely that act. It starts with the bed. It starts with the same props. The thing on the weird bike with the leg separated goes by. Like, it is exactly that. The opening and closing of that show, and then with a bunch of like aerobatics and fire juggling in the middle, and some risque dancing. Like, it's
so good. The dancers were good though. I thought they were.
It's like a variety show. It's like a lot of really good dancing and pyro and like fire juggling I've never seen before, and hula hooping on fire and things. There was some really cool stuff
with the flame. Yeah, it was some cool stuff with the flyer.
I'm surprised by how much I liked it. Like, I was not expecting to like it, and it was really well done, and the music was interesting. It was like a lot of good cover songs of popular rock songs. It was entertaining. And maybe it was just being off my feet in the middle of the night. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's why I loved it so much. But
probably because that was a lot of walking.
Risque dancing, risque. There were people on leashes. Let's just say
there were people on leashes.
And then we did more houses. Did we do more houses? We walked through scare zones. We're not really gonna talk. Do you want to talk about scare zones? They were not scary. Really. I think this is a side effect of the current situation, but also kind of where some of the scare zones have been going over the last few years, where it's become more of selfie zones, which is fine for like one or two of them. But like, I always want New York to be a big giant scare zone, and I kind of like the the feeling, the vibe in the New York scare zone with the I don't like alien race of people that have taken over and the controller sees all. I don't know what it is, but it was a cool vibe, so I was okay with that.
Yeah. Oh, so I got a message from Chris last night. I guess his niece, his sister, and his niece got a baby. Got picked by the what was the leader of the Seek and Destroy
The
thing?
controller, the
The
controller,
controller got picked by
yeah.
the controller to be controlled or whatever. So like this little baby's just getting like standing in front of these things in costume, not being afraid at all, and just looking around like, what the heck is going on? It was kind of adorable, and the video's great. Wasn't even slightly scared.
We
Kid's
were
gonna be
walking
a
through
trooper
there
one of
and
these
it was
days.
raining. It was like, and it wasn't like drizzling. It was just lightly raining, but then the searchlights would go by and like pick up all the raindrops, and it looked really creepy.
It did. The fog effects in the rain also looked really good in general. I thought we had just enough rain for like atmosphere. I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I
it made
kind of
it
liked
like a
it.
gloomy, spooky Halloween
Totally.
atmosphere. We the first thing we did right when we walked in, we got to see broad daylight still, but we went through the Eddie's Revenge area. But we got like
Yep.
selfies with Eddie and Jack, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, we did. I had to get a selfie with Eddie and Jack. They were standing
And
right there, and they're both looking right at the camera behind me. It's so good.
and Gorewood Forest looks really neat. Although we didn't take Duncan's advice and we never walked through again at nighttime because we were in such a hurry.
We did not.
I think he was very sad at that decision, but we needed to get those 3 houses in. I think he would understand. Yeah. We wanted to redo the houses, but there was some creepy stuff in there, and I know it would look amazing at night. So part of me is sad that I didn't do it. But the Terra Queen or whatever. We were walking,
it was pretty cool looking though.
Me and Jen are walking through during the day, and half the stuff is covered up, but not like everything. And I'm like, they're covering up, like, obviously this is like a mutilated body. Okay, sure, we have to cover that up. But these bones and skeletons over here are okay. And then we go through when everything's uncovered and it's like piles of meat. And I'm like, okay, so the rule is if it's dried bones, it's okay. If it's meat bones, it has to be covered up. As soon as there's flesh on the bones, then you have to put a tarp over it.
Yeah, gotta hide it. That was a pretty good scare zone, even with some daylight left. I still kind of liked it. It wasn't bad. The lighting, I'm sure, makes it way better, but
yeah, I think Seek and Destroy and Gorewood Forest are the best scare zones because they actually have roaming people and jumping people and not just stages. The rest were mostly stages. 30 Years, 30 Fears. I've never considered the Production Central area to be a scare zone, but it was really cool to see that arch with the flames back after like 20 years of being gone, or like 16 years of being gone. Cool. It felt like old school Halloween Horror Nights. So, and Crypt TV existed.
Yeah, it did. It was nothing.
It was there.
Also, in Seek and Destroy, when we walked through as a group, one of them just hopped in the back of our group and followed us for a while, like holding a camera or whatever, just like walking with us like normal. Like, where are you guys going? Can I come?
And then I pointed. We saw Joe. I saw Joe. It was on our last episode.
And I missed Joe.
And I just point at him and he's got a confused face and I got a confused face because we've never actually seen each other in person. The person I'm assuming is Joe, ParkStop Joe, I'm pointing at, and he points at me and he's like, Alicia, and I'm like, Joe? They're like, okay, bye. That's it. We move on.
Hi, bye. Yeah, then you go, Ian, I just saw Joe. I'm like, Joe?
Yeah. But we were like, I had to follow. I wasn't being rude. I had to follow the tour guide. I would have stopped in any other situation. I would have stopped.
We were tied to Duncan, so we couldn't stop.
Yeah. I don't know if did we go to the bar next or we do 2 more houses next?
Actually, I think we went to the bar next after the show.
Yeah.
I think we went to Fallon next. Believe.
The RIP tour that Jen and I did in 2019, we only did 1 bar stop, and everything I read online, like usually there's more than one, and it might be just maybe if your group doesn't care about drinking, maybe, I don't know. But I thought it was really cool. That was
not our group.
He took us up to the Fallon VIP bar, and I didn't know it existed. That was so cool.
It was awesome. We got to go on the balcony, and then Jen took a picture, and we all made peasants jokes in the
Oh my
comments.
God.
For
Okay.
shame.
No.
For shame. For shame.
Meanwhile, we're eating peanut butter and jelly every day to be able to afford this. And then we're up there, we're like, look at those people waiting in line. And then when we're done, we go wait in line,
Yeah. We're like suckers. Okay, we're going to do that too. Don't worry. We'll be down in a minute.
I mean, I priced it out. Like, what we did was cheaper than frequent fare with Express. So like we just had to do essentially a whole season's worth of stuff in one night. Like we had to like I'm in physical pain. I'm in physical pain for the amount of like we did everything so fast, but we did do everything. But yeah, that bar was really cool.
We did it quicker than he expected. He said we were going to be out there till like 12:30. We finished at like 11:30. And so we went back to Cafe La Bamba and had food and then went and watched the other show.
That's another thing too. I didn't know we could go back to Cafe La Bamba. We didn't even talk about it, but we had just like we mentioned, I think
all of the food
on our last podcast, I think I mentioned like that it's very important that we maximize our 20 minutes to eat as much free food as we possibly can. We did,
or as Alicia calls it, dinner.
Yeah,
which was my favorite thing ever.
I think I did four plates. They're little plates. They're little plates.
I did five plates, I think, and then dessert too. But I split that
so
plate
fast.
with me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had 20 minutes to eat, so we were just like eating, and then we were still a little bit late. But Duncan found us; he was still inside before we left.
Those flatbreads, those little flatbread triangles, they are available at the Monsters Cafe. That's what I think is that usually they take food.
Not mad at
they usually take food you can buy elsewhere for the event, and they give it to you for free in sample size. So, like I want to find some of it because I enjoyed a lot. Although like just some simple stuff like the chicken slider was good.
Yeah, the slider was good. I wish they had a little bit more from the event since you don't get to stop and eat, too much in the event tents that they have now. I wish they had food from those tents. That would have been a cooler
the fried
thing,
Uncrustable. Even if you cut into fours, I just want to taste the fried Uncrustable. And we never stopped to do any of the food carts. So this is where having a frequent fear. Yeah, having a frequent fear, or just having those open during the day. If they just had those food booths open like a food festival all day, every day,
yes,
I'd be so happy.
Yes,
because I'm sad we're not going back, but we have maybe next year we'll do the frequent fear and a tour. I'll start saving now. That's too much.
Start selling. I'm just gonna go start selling blood. We'll just make sure we get enough money for everything.
The controller will take it. They have all those drums. I want to go back for a second night and not even do houses. I just want to enjoy the ambiance, chill, and try a food festival, like going to Food and Wine. I just want to go around to different things and try different things.
Yeah, I would very much like to do that myself. I wanted to try a lot more of the food, so.
We did Revenge of the Tooth Fairy.
We did, and it was.
We skipped one. We skipped one.
Oh, we did.
We skipped Wicked Growth.
We did skip Wicked Growth. What was the other one that was backed by Wicked Growth?
The Puppet Theater. We skipped all the houses.
Yeah.
That's what we did after the bar before the show.
That's what we did before the show. Yeah.
But Wicked Growth and Puppet Theater.
Wicked Growth is so good.
I was not too excited about Puppet Theater, to be honest. And I think it's because we saw so much behind the scenes in that video last year.
Yeah. So my thoughts on Puppet Theater was I think the scares are not that great, but I like the aesthetic of the maze itself, like the 1904 old theater thing crumbling. Yeah. I thought that was cool looking. The scares didn't really do much for me. But
there was some creative stuff in there. I walked out. How long was I laughing? I was laughing for minutes. There's a guy in a gnome hat with a teeny fake body under his real head. So it's like a real head, a gnome hat, and then a teeny little body. And he's making the teeny body dance left and right. And he's and it's got a track over top, or it's just him doing happy sounds going.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
I stopped. People behind me are waiting. I'm just watching. I'm like, this is the best thing I've ever seen in my entire life. This tiny legs good. Puppet gnome with a human head. It's not a scare. It's not a jump scare. It's a perfectly well lit glass square with a person doing a puppet show, and I'm just watching a puppet show.
It was pretty funny. You were laughing pretty wild afterwards. You need to go back through and take a photo is what you need to do.
You can't take photos in the houses. Oh my! I hope that someone did unmasking the or something, or there's like an official photo, because like that, like there's bigger moments that are in the video that it kind of gave away, and some of the best moments are given away in that video. But this little teeny moment near the end of the house, it's so good.
Okay. Ooh, hi.
There's like a baby powder smell in that house in Puppet Theater.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
It was very strong. I personally, I did not care for it, but I think souvenirscents.com, I believe they are putting out a scent for that house, because it's something that's used every year. Baby powder type. It's like a mix. It's like a gloomy baby powder smell.
It's a very strong baby powder smell this year. That's all I could smell halfway through. I was like,
house.
Oh boy.
Wicked Growth, Realm of the Pumpkin.
Wicked Growth was so good. How good was that? It
was really good. I'm shocked. Like, we only forgot to talk about it because you lost internet connection for 10 minutes and I forgot what we were talking about. Yes, I did. but Wicked Growth, like, walking out of it, I was like, can we do that again? I want to go do it again immediately.
It's so good.
And we went in a back door. So when we did it, that's the third house we did 2 times. When we did that at the end of the night, a second time, we waited like a 45-minute wait or 35-minute wait, but it was only 20 minutes really.
Yeah, it was like 20 minutes.
First of all, the facade, just with all the carved pumpkins and Little Boo, is amazing. But
yes,
there's like a tunnel leading into the house that we skipped when we went in the back entrance. And that really sets the tone of just walking through this creepy like jack-o'-lantern tunnel. And then there's a facade of like an old house or whatever, and like this fake wood slats that the scare actor jumps through, but it's actually like rubber or whatever. And there's a sound of wood breaking. Such a good scare.
That was good. That was good.
This whole house has the best scares because people jump out of nowhere with a sickle and just like try to slice your face open and really almost hit you.
Yes, they almost grab you. That guy jumping out right at the beginning through the wood slats is almost touches you.
There was like a wood door. Oh, is this the one with the cat scare where like the cans and things move in the kitchen and you hear a cat running?
Yeah, I think it was actually.
There's a clever like buildup of scares. There was a thing that said like Meaty Meats Deliveries, and it had like a time and a place. And I was like, that's a tie-in to another house. That's crazy. So,
yeah, Opal, awesome.
And then that's another one that has the giant face. I think that was the best giant face with the like pumpkin guts mouth and the strings and like seeds in its face. Like, did it have teeth that were seeds? Okay,
I think so.
I only saw it for a second and it terrified me.
Yeah. That whole room though, with like you're walking through like pumpkin guts, is just awesome. I love that room.
And then you get the Pumpkin Lord, the King of Fear,
he was
the
awesome
Pumpkin
too.
Lord at the end.
And that house smells like pumpkin and dirt. Pumpkin and dirt.
I don't know if there actually was a pumpkin smell or if it was a psychological thing, but I swear I smelled pumpkin on the last room. And there's a little mist too. When you're in the pumpkin, you get a little mist of pumpkin guts. It had everything. It had special effects. It had good scares. It had really creative like characters. It had like people that were murdered by vines and pumpkins, like just growing through them.
It had Little Boo.
Yes. I was sad that we went through the back and I didn't get to go see Little Boo in person, but so we had to, the first house that we did after the tour, of course, so I can go see Little Boo.
Yep. We ran over there. Literally ran right over there.
I mean, I spent half the night talking about how I was sad we didn't get to see Little Boo, driving everyone else crazy.
Of course.
I took a photo and we like zoomed in though. We were walking by, leaving backstage, and I took a zoomed in photo. I was like, look, there's a blurry little face. That's Little Boo. You could still tell how cute he was.
So then we did the Fallon thing, right?
Yeah, then
Where
we
are
walked
we?
through some scare zones.
And
We did the
then
Fallon thing. Then we did all the soundstage houses.
yeah. So then did we do Texas first?
I thought we did Tooth Fairy or Brides first. I honestly don't remember. It was getting late.
I think we did. Yeah, I think we did Brides before that,
So
and then I think we did Tooth Fairy.
Brides and Tooth Fairy are the two houses that I did do during the day. Jen and I both did during the day
Mhm.
last year when they had them open, and I think they're better this year. They've improved. Like there was some kind of improvements or something. It just felt more alive. Maybe just doing it at night and not in the middle of the day, but there was definitely more actors. There was definitely more effects. It just felt more full and complete.
So I'm not gonna lie. Every time we went through a room and I saw Frankenstein not alive, and she screamed, I was screaming about how Frank was dead and she needs to save him and stop yelling at me. More or less is what I was saying.
You were
Because
emotionally invested in the story.
my dude Frank was not doing good. So I was kind of upset that she was yelling at me instead of helping our boy.
All these scare actors that like they have to wear a mask if they're not wearing a mask, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
So they did a good job. They did a great job. I was actually a little worried that it would take me out of it, but it didn't. The sometimes the vinyl was like, okay, why is there vinyl here? Oh no, here's some more vinyl, and it took me out of it more when there wasn't an actor there, because then I would always
yeah.
expect, it's like when you see a boo hole, you just expect someone to jump up because you see a hole. And I
Of
liked a lot
course.
of the houses did a good job. Hill House did a great job of having fake walls that disappear instead of
Yep.
having just an open hole or whatever. But like the
Mhm.
masks that they used for the Dracula's brides had a face on them. So they were wearing a mask, but that looked like an open, like scary face mouth. So I thought that was
Yep.
clever. So it was really their eyes in the top half of their face, but then the mask
A
part looked like
mask.
a giant open vampire mouth, and I thought that was. And they're always screaming. That every bride is
Yep.
always screaming, probably because they're
It
they're
was good.
being drained of their blood and life force. But still,
It was good. I really liked that house, though. It was probably top 5 for me. I really enjoyed that house.
yes, out of half of the houses, it was in the top 5. It was
Top. Let me see. So, Wicked Growth, Hill House. Case Files might be tied with Brides for me, I think. I really
okay.
like that
Okay,
house. So
I
I think
really
those would be my
liked.
top 3.
I really liked Tooth Fairy more than Brides last year, but this year I think Brides bumped up on me, and I like it more than Tooth Fairy. Tooth Fairy is still
No,
okay, but it
yeah,
wasn't.
it's good.
It's okay.
It's good. There was a storyteller reference in there, right? In Tooth Fairy?
Probably. There's a reference to something in
I
every
thought there
house.
was. Yeah, I thought there was. Oh, yeah, and then when did we do the Icons house?
Oh, I was going to say, I think we did that next.
Yeah, I was going to say I thought we did that, then Texas, and then Case Files was last, right?
Yes. So let's just get into
Yeah,
icons. Tooth Fairy. Tooth Fairy was fine.
it was fine. It's
my
fine.
favorite scare from Tooth Fairy I didn't see this time, where I think it's one of the servants is running around with like a puppet attacking them
Hmm.
of it, and that we didn't get that scare, and I was
You
very
told
sad.
me about that.
I was very
You told me
sad. That
about
was my
that.
favorite
I know.
scare.
I could tell.
You never know what you're gonna get. You have to do every house like 3 times to get everything. But icons, I liked that like there was a person, like a victim, wearing a shirt from the year that the first introduced every icon in each scene. So like you'd walk into a
Totally.
scene and then it would be like Halloween Horror Nights 22 or something, and then that character from that year would be there. Thought it was a pretty neat way of introducing it. Like Case Files is more on the nose, where there's a giant book cover, like a huge
Yep.
book cover. This was more like
Ginormous book
this
cover.
person is just wearing a shirt, so you know what year you're taking place in.
Yeah, I like that house a lot. I was a little upset with who we got at the end, though. A little bit.
Yeah, Lady Luck. I'm not really
Yeah.
familiar with the Lady Luck. I wanted Chance
Mm.
or even just Jack,
Jack.
like something memorable. I am a big fan of the Usher. I like the director too.
The Usher would have been cool.
The Usher had the best gag where you walk into like a movie theater,
Yes.
the Usher is just beating someone to death with a flashlight and then turns and
And
looks
then
at
he
you and
goes,
goes,
shh.
So in other words, oh
So
my God,
good.
it's like an Indiana
So
Jones
good.
tickets, please. Like, or didn't have a ticket. Like that's what it felt like to me. Like, you better
It was so good.
or this will be you. That was
That was
that's
great.
always going to be my favorite moment because I love that
The
icon. I
director
love
had some good ones too.
director had
And
a whole like
I
big
like,
section.
yeah, I thought it was cool how the light turned on and off on the camera thing he was using too. So like as part of the scare, the
Blind
camera
you.
would just turn on. Yeah, it was awesome. I thought it was good. I
Oh, there was a
liked it.
lot
I
of
liked it a lot.
projected effects, a lot of like shadow gags this year in all the houses.
Oh
And
yeah, you're right.
they had storyteller like old lady walking downstairs in this house. There
That's
was
right. I forgot about that.
oh, what was it? The
Old lady.
Beetlejuice it had dancing ladies in the
In
Dante's
the
Inferno
wasn't it? Yeah, I
and
was gonna say
this
in the background, wasn't it?
yeah. I thought like so yeah, the projected shadow gags are always good. In any theme park attraction, I will always appreciate a good shadow gag.
And some screens. We had some screen stuff that actually worked pretty good too.
But Icons was good. I think that's another one that
I,
we would have done more if we were at that side of the park at the end of the night,
oh,
but we
for
were on the
sure.
other. Like that's one that definitely lent itself well to doing more than once.
Especially with the changing icon. Just go in every hour and you'll get a new one, or 45
Duncan
minutes.
said what every set 45 minutes. When they
Yep.
change the actors, that's when you would get the new one. So that's good to know. So
Yep.
like, don't do it over and over again in the same. You'll get the same one every time.
Yep.
I mean, unless the line's an
then
hour and you do it over and over again, then I guess it works.
Then we did Texas.
Yes, this one had good set design, and
It did.
I for some reason I'm always scared when Leatherface shows up with a chainsaw. It's just scary, but at the same time, it was kind of dull. I don't know.
Yeah, I thought
maybe I'm Texas Chainsaw Massacred out. I'm tapped
the
out
very
on this
beginning, that very first scare was pretty good because he comes out of nowhere. Like
yeah,
you
I was
can
not
actually see
expecting
where
that.
he should be.
It was a really quiet gas station, and then all of a sudden he came out.
I think the two best scares, in my opinion, were the two of Grandpa. I think those were the two best scares on the house.
There was some interesting set design stuff, like sewing machine with human skin and human skin on the walls, and all the sets
it was
looked
really cool.
Really
and
good.
Then the heads of like the deer and stuff that were just like rotting. Like on the wall as you walk by. There was a lot of cool stuff in the house, but it wasn't the scares at all.
One scare was just a scare actor holding a pig and just like making the pig come out the window. And it was like, like squealing. Like that was it. And I was like, this is the best. There were two pigs?
There was two. There was one on each side.
I only saw the one pig. Now I'm sad.
Yeah, one kind of comes, I think the one on the left kind of comes out from behind you. And then there's the one on the right. And then yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But the grandpa scares were good. They were come out of nowhere, if I remember right. Scary old dude.
This one does what the original Halloween house did. And I think the Halloween house did it a little better, where there's just like 12 Michael Myerses in a row. And it's like you turn a corner, there's a Michael Myers, you turn a corner, there's a Michael Myers, you turn the corner, there's a Michael Myers. But like it was done in a way you'd only see one at a time. This one did it at the end where I was seeing two like Leatherfaces at the same time. Like they weren't even waiting till I turned the corner. They were jumping out while the other one was still resetting.
It's kind of hard too because I mean they got the chainsaw. It's pretty loud to have a chainsaw. So
It's true. It's true.
It's like I hear chainsaws all over the place going through this house. So
yeah, it's a house that looks really good, but there's just so many better houses for me this year.
Yeah, I think it's like the same level of the Puppet Theater for me. The aesthetic was really cool, but the scares weren't that great.
And also, it depends on the run.
Yeah, of course. These are only our opinions on what we saw.
Yeah, based on the one time we went through the house. Every time I turn the corner and it looks like a cabin or whatever, I'm like, I miss the Yeti. I want to go through the Yeti house again. The Yeti house was so good. Yeah, there was. Was that in Case Files?
That was in Case Files. You sort of got your Yeti in Case Files.
So let's go on to Case Files, which was the most bonkers house of all time.
So crazy and fun.
This is one, and you can kind of tell where this is the only one they had to build from scratch for this year. And because they didn't have to build 9 other houses, they put a lot of work into this one house.
It was great. It was cool to walk through the noir. I would like that a lot.
It was the best utilization of space in a Shrek house ever.
Yeah, it was great. There was even one spot I thought was going to be a scare, but it was just like a mannequin with a fake cigarette leaning against the wall.
Oh, behind the kitty cat club. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was going to be a scare or something, but he was just leaning there, chilling out.
So this is the Boris Schuster Detective House, which is like a window on a street in the theme park, Universal Studios Florida, and then across from it is the Kitty Cat Club, which is another like fake window. These are just fake windows, but they've built a whole world and story, and they've incorporated other characters. And he's a character is introduced like in the Bloody Mary house years ago.
Yep.
But I like the idea that he's just not only is he a detective, but he wrote all these best-selling novels back in the 50s or whatever.
Yeah.
Was
It
it
was
the
great.
40s?
It was a good house, and 40s, I think. And then
it was crazy how they introduced each one though, because you enter a room and there's a big giant book cover and it's like the blah 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 monster, or the blob this monster, or the whatever they called the Yeti. And then it's just this one room. It's this teeny tiny one room, and you turn the corner and
Yep.
you're in the next book. That's it. We're done with that one. We're in the next one, because they crammed in like 9 different books or whatever. And it was like, there's no
so
room
good,
to
though.
breathe on this. I want to stay in each room for like a couple more seconds, please. I'm not done absorbing this. Oh, we're on to the next one. Okay. There's no time whatsoever.
It was good,
like
though.
normally a best of house type thing where like the scary, you had a good third of the house is the hive or whatever. This was like you one room and then you're on to the next one. You have one room, you're on to the next one.
It was so fun though. Like you got to see so many different demons and all that other stuff in there. I really liked that house. I thought it was fun, and I love the noir thing. Really good.
I'm glad we had Duncan there to explain the story beforehand, because I don't think I would have grasped it on the first walkthrough. That it takes place in the present, then the past, and 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 the present again. And it's like a conspiracy theorist named Tim Foyle uncovering the fact that all these novels are maybe based on something real, and trying to find all these totems and then doing some kind of thing. And at the end, essentially the character from Indiana Jones 4, when she wants to learn all knowledge and then her eyes burn out, he learns the truth and his eyes are burning out, and it's a really good effect. And then the house is over. But like he also pointed out that the story, like it tells you the dates, and like the beginning takes place in 1991 one day, and then at the end takes place 1991 like a few days later, and it's the start of Fright Nights and the end of Fright Nights, like which is the greatest awesome little tribute to the first Halloween Horror Nights ever, which was just a weekend when it first started in 1991. So there's no I would have never grasped that.
Yeah. Also, Duncan told us that there are hidden butterflies in all the houses.
I wish I'd known that going into it, because I would have maybe that's a bad thing. Maybe I would have been distracted by looking for a butterfly in every single house.
Nonstop looking for the butterfly. Everyone's like, "Where's the butterfly?"
That would have been a little distracting.
Yeah, he told us after, but yeah, he did remember, and then he wanted to pass that on. But yeah, that was all the houses. I had a blast. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, and he was fun talking to. He had a great plan for which ones to do first or whatever. His little intros to everything always had puns, so that's how you know.
Yeah, great puns.
He is our kin. He is definitely theme park stop. Because of the puns. I wish we had the little drum every time, because it was so perfect. I think my favorite one, because I don't remember them all, but I remember we were going to the Wicked Growth realm of the pumpkin, and it's like, make sure hopefully no one gets gored.
Yeah. I was like, gored.
Yeah, I felt bad that we were like hogging him too much and asking questions and things, but that he sat at other tables during our breaks and chatted with other people. So.
He did.
Yeah,
I just was walking. May and I were walking. We just ended up at the front a lot of times talking to him, and then you guys, I would try to fade back.
You two were hogging him. That's what it was.
It was. We were just talking about everything, though, not even just parks, like where he's from, and like Connecticut and Michigan, and we were just anything, all kinds of stuff. I think he and May were talking about international travel stuff, like the UK and all kinds of stuff. So
I like
cool.
that he asked everyone in the group at the end what their favorite houses were.
Yeah, we had to pass around the spirit stick.
Yeah, the glowy stick. You said Hill House, right?
Yeah, I did. Because I wanted to say Wicked Growth, but I was like, I'm tied on those two, so I just went with the opposite of what most
Yeah,
people were
because
saying. There
Jen
was
and
a
I
lot of
had said
Wicked Growth.
Wicked. Yeah, Jen and I had said Wicked
Yeah,
Growth. What did everyone else say at the end? Like 4 or 5 people said the same thing. What was it?
I think a lot of people were saying Wicked Growth, weren't they?
Yeah, well, the first half of us were, but I could have sworn the other 4 people said something else. I couldn't remember if it
I don't remember.
was it Beetlejuice? I
I
think
don't
we had
know. It
one
might
of
have been.
we had a puppet theater in there.
We did. Someone liked the puppet theater.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I
That's very
liked them
cool. I
all.
mean,
I even my minor complaints about them, or maybe I didn't care for it as much. That like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's not its fault. I'm just kind of sick of that movie. It's not the house's fault. The house recreated the
no.
movie perfectly. I'm just tired of the movie.
Yeah, well, like we said too, the aesthetic is great. The design is great. But
Yeah, the
yeah,
set design was amazing in that. That's why it reminded me
I
of the
mean,
Yeti. It had that perfect like rustic feel, like you're really outside. It had like the insect sound effects and crickets and stuff. It really felt like you're
yeah,
outside.
it did. It was good. It was great. And walking to the gas station was awesome for me. I liked walking through
With
there,
the gas
like
pumps
right up to
from
the front.
Jaws, the green
Yep,
Hess gas pumps. There were 2
you were
different
very
sizes.
excited about that.
I heard about it when I saw them. There are 2 different sizes. I'm convinced that one was like from the explosion scene, but one is a real gas pump that we use to pump gas into the boats at the end of the night. Because it's like doesn't have
Interesting.
like labels and stuff on it. I think that was the real gas pump at the end. I could be wrong.
You were very excited about the gas pumps. You're like, these are from Jaws. I'm like, hey, awesome. Those are cool. Very excited about those.
Well, yeah, I'm excited about Easter eggs in general. Now I want to go find all the
Yeah, I
butterflies.
know.
I have to buy a second night. I'm kind of sad we didn't do Case Files Unearthed a second time, but at the same time, I feel like we need 5 more times to really absorb it all.
Yeah, I agree.
Because there was a lot going on in it.
I'm not sure how many houses we would have gotten done anyway if we trekked all the way across to go back through that when we had the 3 we wanted to do again right there.
Yeah,
like all close
it was
together.
easier to do the 3 that were close together. Yes, Wicked
then on
Growth
the way
was
out-
definitely worth it. What?
Then on the way out, Chris from UOP was in line with his family and saw me and yelled Ian and then gave me the middle finger. It was great. It's a perfect way to end the night.
Cap it off.
He told me he was screaming Freak Show, which is my other name, but I didn't hear that. So I didn't hear anything. I think I was in a conversation and then it just stopped just when he started to yell my actual name. So
we did do
funny.
Men in Black at the end, and Jen kicked all our butts.
She did, and we did a tour too. We did an immigration tour and took pictures downstairs.
We did. We got that was the perfect end to the night. Is before we said goodbye to Duncan, we got a group photo with him.
Yep,
in front of the aliens. Blah and Bob. Is that that's their names? And then you touched something, and then the end of the world almost started, and he had to fix it.
Well, I didn't touch anything, but I did like to pretend like I did. I made the face like I didn't do it because it was pretty funny.
Yeah, we have to specify you didn't actually touch it. We're looking at the mural over in the corner, and there's like all these alien faces that you would never notice unless you get up close. That was pretty cool.
That was really cool. In the poker game, seeing the poker game up close. But I will say, as comfortable as those chairs are, they're really hard to get out of.
They're hard to get out of. I've been down there twice now. Once when I worked there and had to do my test sitting at one of those desks. And then I did the immigration tour a few years back. But there's that was like the first time I ever actually looked around and didn't just take a picture in front of the aliens. So that was really cool. It was a good way to end the night.
Yeah, it was awesome. I really liked that we got to do that. And it was cool that it was just like the 5 of us down there too. It was awesome.
There was no one in there. I guess because it was the end of the night. Like there was only a few rides open, but there was no one going on that ride. There was only 2 people in the opposite car that we were shooting at.
Yeah, I know. We came out to the ride vehicles, and I'm like, I looked at you and I go, I'm so glad we're cutting all these people. And you turned around, and there was nobody there. I started laughing.
I was like, at first I was like, oh man, I feel bad. We have oh no, there's no one there. there's absolutely no one there.
There's no one here. Nope.
Yeah. I don't want to hurt her feelings, but I think there's something wrong with my gun, and that's why she kicked our butts. Yeah.
Yeah. I was aiming at eyes and doing all the proper things, and my gun was not. It took forever to hit.
Were you and May holding the button down? Because it is rapid fire.
Yes.
I want to make. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, that's just sad then, because your scores were terrible.
Yeah. Horrible. I am suspicious of the gun I had.
I got what,
Totally suspicious.
450,000. She had 560,000. So and she got the
Yeah,
bonus, but even without the bonus, she would have beat me.
yeah, you guys smoked us. So that was not one of my finer moments. I got to get better at that game. It's definitely not one of my finer moments.
Yeah. But to make it a complete night,
next year.
we did a ride, so I feel good.
Both the shows were good. We did see the other show.
Oh yeah.
Was it something of Mayhem? That was good.
The Marathon of Mayhem Carnage Factory Lagoon show. The technology behind their Lagoon shows is just incredible. All of the three Lagoon shows that they've done so far have been good, but I preferred the last 2019 version.
Yeah,
maybe because the content and the music was better. Like I just didn't like. I like the '80s synth score of the last event more than the rock '90s version of score this year. But also, like the monsters part was cool, and like all the weird kaleidoscope stuff was trippy. Like it felt like you were tripping. It was pretty neat.
Yep,
and the music was good.
And
it was impressive.
You got
I like the projection mapping.
You got me a giant still of Gilman too, which was awesome.
I happened to be taking a picture right when Gilman shows up, so that was cool. Oh yeah, the Gilman.
And there is a Gilman in Brides.
Yes, there is a Gilman in Brides. I screamed. I was like, Ian, look.
Yeah, I know. You're like, Ian, Gilman. I'm like, yeah. That's so good.
It's just a random like tank with a like a shared universe moment, like in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, like you're walking down a hallway with all the different things, or in the Dark Universe, and there's like just a random jar, or like you're in a hallway. Here's the Gilman for no reason. Shared universe.
It was
the Lagoon show was fine. The best thing about the Lagoon show is it's only 10 minutes. Like honestly,
yeah,
this is how I feel about it. Like, hey, it's easy to walk in. You can enjoy it. It's a little break between the houses, but I don't know. It's not the best. I feel bad. I don't want to say it's not the best, but it's not the best.
No, it wasn't. But it was good. It was fine. I mean, it was funny too because I was getting text messages from all these people like all night long, and I just could not meet up with everybody, and we just couldn't make it work. Like Nicole was looking for me, and I was looking for Christina, but they were gone already, I guess. So it's super hard in an RIP to go break away and find people, but the tour itself is totally worth it. I am spoiled now for sure. I think Megan is too. I don't think we're ever going to do that any other way.
I again, because I'm old, when I first went in the mid 90s, there only was like 4 haunted houses, but because it started getting more popular, I once waited 3.5 hours for one house in 1996. I think
that's insane.
And they didn't really have like IP houses so much as they had houses with collections of IPs in them sometimes that they maybe didn't have the rights to. So like there wasn't like this grand storytelling going on. There wasn't this backstory of lore. It was just like, this one is about this. And it's like, this one's in the sewers and this one's this. And like, I think the one I waited 3.5 hours was like in the Sting Alley house, which was just a storage space in the center of the facades. It's so cramped. And it was, by today's standards, kind of pathetic. So like the event has grown so much, and like even if you had to wait in lines, it only did 6 or 7 or 8 houses at most. Like it's still nothing compared to only having 4 houses to do, and each one has a 3-hour wait. Like back in the day, like I remember going only one time each season. In high school, and it would be like, do we want to see the Bill and Ted show, or do we want to do that third house? Like these were the only 2 options. There's no time to do other things. So like we would think like 3 houses or 2 houses and a Bill and Ted is a good night back in the old days. And I didn't even go in the early 90s where literally there were only 1 or 2 haunted houses and then like a Beetlejuice show or something. So it's crazy to think how much the events evolved, and like to have 10 houses so that the lines are an hour or less because everyone's split up and there's more capacity at the event. Now the pathways were really tight because there's so many people here, but the lines being an hour or less is actually so much better than it used to be, 30 years ago when this thing started.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. I mean, by the time we were waiting in line, it was toward the end of the night, but they weren't long, which we got lucky on. But yeah, VIP tour from now on, please and thank you.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
Oh yeah, R.I.P. I want the VIP treatment.
Start
for the
saving
RIP
now.
tour.
This is what we did last time. We just like, okay, we have a separate account. We're gonna put it in. It's for the holiday stuff. We'll do something. We'll do something for Christmas and we do something for Halloween, and this is our Halloween thing. And
Perfect.
Doing the RIP though, it completely changes how we do it because you can get so much done. My legs hurt like
spoiled.
heck. God, my legs hurt.
My feet hurt. My left foot, especially. My ankle is mad at me.
I slept like a baby last night, though.
Yeah, I only slept till 8 this morning. The dogs woke me up, so I
slept tired. Till 11 a.m.
I think May made it to 1. I think that was the final count today when she got up. Might have been 2, she said.
Oh, so, well, yeah. I got beat. I was going to say I slept like a baby, and then I remembered baby powder smell. We were warned the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house has the poop smell, and I don't think it was that bad. And Duncan's like, no, it wasn't that strong tonight. We got lucky. We got real lucky. Because we got very lucky. Usually there's one house every year.
Yeah, gross. No, thank you. Pass. I'm glad we got to skip the smell.
Yeah, it was there, but I think it was just very faint. We got lucky.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Is that everything? Did we do it? Did we do our job?
I'm glad you liked it. And I'm glad we had fun. And yeah, if we can request Duncan again next year, that would be so cool because we had so much fun.
Yes. Duncan's the man. Definitely ask for Duncan while he's there. This year, too, if you still have an RIP scheduled, definitely ask for him.
Oh, we didn't do it last night, but we should go to guest services and say something nice.
All the nice things about Duncan forever?
Yes.
Yes, I agree. We should.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, guys.